Good morning, students. Today's topic is solving equations. Our learning objective is to be able to solve equations involving at least 2 steps. For the starter, I would like you to match the cards with their answer. So card A is an equation, 3x is equal to 12. Find the value of x on another card that matches the answer for card A. Pause the video, spend no more than 10 minutes doing these questions, then unpause the video to check for your answer. Here are the answers. Pause the video, mark them, then unpause to move to the next slide. Alright, so let's look at our solving equations. So we have the first question, 2x plus 3 is 7. We're going to keep this 2x first because the x is combined with it and we need to solve for x. So what we're going to do is get rid of this positive 3 by subtracting 3. Because we subtract 3 on the left side of the equation, we also have to subtract 3 on the right side of the equation to keep it balanced. So here, this plus 3 and minus 3 will cancel out, and then this 7 minus 3 will be 4, and our 2x remains on the left. Our next step, because we multiplied 2 by x to get 4, we need to find out what that number is. So because we had multiplied by 2, we will now divide by 2. So we're going to divide by 2 on both sides of equation. So 2 divided by 2 will give us 1. So we're just left with 1. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the value of x is 2. If we want to find out if our answer is correct for 2x plus 3 is 7, we just substitute 2 back in here. So it's going to be 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 3, and that is equal to 7. So we know that x is equal to 2. On this equation, 4h minus 6 equal 14 again. We'll keep the 4h because we want to find out what h is. So the next thing we're going to do is eliminate this plus 6 from the left side, this minus 6 from the left side by adding 6, because we know when we have a plus 6 and minus 6, they'll cancel each other. Because we've added 6 on the left, we will add 6 on the right. So here we'll cancel to leave us with 4h, and then 14 plus 6 will be 20. 4 times h is 20. We have multiplied h by 4, so therefore to undo that, to find h, we'll have to divide by 4 on both sides. So it's 4 divided by 4 is 1, which leaves us with just h. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So the value of h is 5. I'd like you to pause this video, spend 5 minutes trying to do these 2 questions. Once you're through, resume the video to check your answer. Now here we have our first question. Let's check for the answer. So we'll subtract 7 first on the left and right side. So we're gonna have 6f left, and 10 minus 7 will give us 3. Next step is we will divide by 6 on both sides. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, which just leaves us with f, and 3 divided by 6 is 3 over 6, which is equal to a half, or you could just write 0.5. On the next question, we have a minus 4. 4a minus 4 is equal to negative 16. So we're going to add 4 first to both sides. We add that. We're left with 4a on the left. Minus 16 plus 4 gives us minus 12. So now we will divide by 4 here to get a, and divide by 4 on the right. Negative divided by positive will give us negative, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So our answer is A equal minus 3. These problems, so now we have a fraction. So the J is being divided by 4. So we're going to leave that initially. And what we're going to do is get rid of that plus 5. That is on the left. And so because it's a plus 5, we're going to subtract 5. Because we subtract 5 on the left, we subtract 5 on the right. So plus 5 minus 5 is 0. So it just leaves us with J over 4. And 6 minus 5 is 1. Now J was being divided by 4 to get 1. So we need to check what number do we divide by 4 to get 1. Or do the opposite of that, or the inverse. So because you divide by 4, what you'll have to do is multiply by 4 on both sides. 4 times J over 4, these 4's will cancel to leave us with just 1J, and then 1 times 4 is 4. Let's try the next problem. Again, J is divided by 2, so we'll leave that initially, and then we'll get rid of the minus 7, so we'll add 7 on both sides. So when we add 7 on the left, it leaves us with J over 2 equal, and on the right, 3 plus 7 is 10. J was divided by 2. What number do we divide by 2 to get 10? Because we're divided by 2, we'll multiply by 2 this time. So 2's will cancel to leave us with J. 10 times 2 is 20. I'd like you to pause the video and try these 2 questions. Once you're through, resume the video to check for the answers. Don't spend more than 5 minutes on these 2 questions. Go ahead. Let's check our first question. So we'll subtract 7 because that's a plus 7. So we'll minus 7 there and minus 7 on the right as well. So we're left with J over 8 equal 9 minus 7 is 2. Because we divided by 8, we will now have to multiply by 8. And so the 8 cancels the 8 to leave us with J on the left. 2 times 8 is 16. Let us check here on the second problem. Because we have a minus 10, we'll add 10 to get rid of that. And we'll have to do plus 10 on the right to balance the equation. So here, when we do minus 10 plus 10, cancels out to leave us with x over 3. And then 2 plus 10 will give us 12. So now we can do our next step. X is being divided by 3. What number do we divide by 3 to get 12? Since we're dividing by 3, to do the opposite, we'll have to multiply by 3. And we do that on both sides to keep it balanced. 3 divides 3 to give us x. 12 times 3 gives us 36. And so those are the answers. If you want to check if you're correct, let us look at the second problem. It was x divided by 3 minus 10 is 2. So if we put 36 divided by 3, that should give us 12, and 12 minus 10 is definitely 2. So we have done a check to see if our answer to this question is correct. Here's task 1. I'd like you to spend 20 minutes doing as many problems as you can. If you finish before the 20 minutes, just resume the video, check your answer, and then we'll move on to the next activity. For your answers, pause the video and mark. Once you are through, resume the video to move on to the next section of the lesson. There are some other fractions problems which will, it looks a little bit different, so we will go through these as well. So this time we have 4c divided by c. Notice it's not being added or subtracted. additionally, so it's just 4c divided by 3, and that gives us 12. So because all of 4c is divided by 3, I'm just rewriting the question. What we'll have to do is get rid of that 3 first by multiplying both sides by 3. So the 3 will cancel here to leave us with 4c, and then 12 times 3 will give us 36. Then 4 times c is 36, so what times 4 gives us 36? Because we've multiplied by 4, we'll divide by 4 on both sides, of course. 4 divided by 4 is c, and 36 divided by 4 is 9, so c is 9. Let's look at the other problem. We have I plus 6, all of that is divided by 3. So what we will have to do is multiply by 3 first on both sides. So the 3 will cancel the 3 on the left side to leave us with I plus 6. 12 times 3 gives us 36. Now we have I plus 6 to give 36. So what do we add to 6 to get 36? Since we're adding 6 to a number to get 36, we can then subtract 6 from both sides to see what I would give us. So since we subtract 6 from 6, we're left with I, and then 36 minus 6 will give us 30. So it means I is equal to 30. Challenge, just to see what you would do with questions which look like this. Pause the video, spend no more than 6 minutes trying to get through the problems based on what we have done so far. Then we'll have a look at what the answers are. So pause the video, get it done, resume the video when you're ready. So now for this question we have 5x divided by 4. All of 5x is divided by 4, but then we have an additional 1 being added. So we'll get rid of that plus 1 first by subtracting 1. So that cancels out. Because he subtracted 1 on the left, you'll have to subtract 1 on the right. So we're going to be left with 5x over 4, and 16 minus 1 is 15. Then we're dividing by 4. Everything is being divided by 4, so to undo that, we times by 4 on both sides, and then 4 divides 4 to leave you with 5x. 15 times 4 is 60. Then we'll have to divide by 5 on both sides. And so 5 divides 5 to leave us with x, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. So the answer is x equal 12. Now on this example, 2x plus 6 is being divided by 5, the whole thing. So all we'll have to do for this one, let's write the question out for me to have some room. I'm gonna times by 5 first because everything was being divided by 5. Do it on both sides, then 5 cancels 5, 2x plus 6 is left, 5 times 4 is 20. Then we have 2x plus 6, so we have to get rid of this plus 6 by subtracting 6 from both sides. So that becomes 0 there, so leaves us with 2x, and 20 minus 6 is 14. Then we'll have to divide by 2 for a final step, which gives us x, and 2 into 14 gives us 7, because we're dividing by 2 on this side as well. Right? So x is equal to 7. Task 2, spend 20 minutes trying these problems, then resume the video to check your answers. Here are your answers. Please mark, then resume the video to go to the last section of the lesson. Here we need to solve the equations, but we have some brackets. So what we'll have to do first is we're going to get rid of the brackets, and we've done practice in expanding brackets, so we know we should multiply 2 by x to get 2x, and then 2 by 3 to get 6, and that's equal to 10. Then we can get rid of our plus 6 by subtracting 6 on both sides of the equation, so we're left with 2x, and 10 minus 6 is 4. Then we can divide by 2 on both sides because x was multiplied by 2, so that gives us 1x, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Let's look at another problem. So again, 4 bracket x minus 7 is 12 minus 12. Let's get rid of the bracket first. 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times minus 7 is minus 28, and that is equal to minus 12. So we need to get rid of our minus 28 by adding 28. That becomes 0, and 28 on the right side as well. So this would be 4x left on the left, and then when we add 28 to minus 12, which is just 28 minus 12, we are left with positive 16. And then we'll divide by 4 on both sides, and so 4 divided by 4 is 1, so that gives us 1x. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so our answer is x equal 4. The video spent 5 minutes doing these problems, then resume to check your answer. Alright, let's check. So we have 5 bracket x plus 1 is equal to 30. So we're going to expand the brackets first. 5 times x gives us 5x, 5 times 1 gives us 5, and that's equal to 30. Get rid of our plus 5 first by subtracting 5. So that's going to give us 5x, but we have to do that on the right side as well to keep the equation balanced, so that gives us 25. Then we will divide by 5 on both sides. So 5 divided by 5 gives us 1x, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. Therefore, x is equal to 5. Now, let's do our final question here. So we need to expand the brackets again. So 3 times x, 3x, 3 times minus 1, minus 3 equals 21. We need to get rid of this minus 3 by adding 3. So that gives us 3x. And because we've added 3 on the left, we need to add 3 on the right. So when we add them together, we get 24. Then we'll divide by 3 on both sides. So 3 divided by 3 is 1 to get us 1x. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So x is equal to 8. Here's our final task. Spend no more than 50 minutes doing the question. So you'll pause the video to get that done. Once you have finished, unpause the video to check your answer. Here are the answers. Pause the video and to mark. Once you're through marking, send photos of the work you've done today on Show My Homework so that you can get feedback. Thank you and have a good day.